Today we're taking a look at the Cooler Master GX3 Gold rated 850 watt power supply. Cooler Master had reached out about this one, so I took a look at the specs and I thought it was a pretty solid option for gaming PCs. This PSU supports ATX 3.0 with a 90-degree angled 12VH power cable. The PSU has excellent efficiency, especially in the lower half of the output range. It's also fully modular. We're actually getting a nice complement of included power cable strands here. We've got a 610mm main 24-pin cable, a 600mm EPS 4+4, and a 600mm EPS 8-pin cable for those higher powered motherboards. There's two 840mm SATA strands with 4 ports each. You do also get an 840mm legacy Molex cable as well. There's three 6+2 pin PCIe cables at 550mm each, and of course we have a 650mm 12VH power cable. All of the cables were well built and the sleeving is actually pretty nice. An interesting fact about this power supply is that while it is rated to output up to 850 watts, Cooler Master actually rates this to output 850 watts up to 50 degrees C. That's actually a little bit higher than what I see on most other PSUs. Typically they're rated at about 40 C, which generally speaking is going to signal that this power supply is a little bit higher quality. Cooler Master does offer the GX3 series power supplies in 650 watt, 750, 850 like I have here, 1050 watt, and 1250 watt versions. In terms of the cooling strategy for these PSUs, we do have a 135mm fan built in, but it's relatively quiet even under load. The fan doesn't start spinning until you hit about 40% load, or roughly 340 watts, and if you really need all 850 watts worth of power, the fan will still stay under 30 dBA, which is relatively quiet for that kind of power output. The 850 GX3 has a single 70 amp main power rail, so no special concerns for load balancing the power cables there, which is nice. This PSU is rated as a Gold PSU like I had mentioned, but it actually performs well with about 90% efficiency around 10% load, or about 85 watts, which is good because a lot of gaming PCs are probably going to idle around there. Around 20% load, this PSU is still rated at about 92% efficiency, and then at 50% load, we're looking at just over 90% efficiency. This is important to note because while the power supply will output up to 850 watts, most gaming PCs are not going to be anywhere close to that, unless maybe you have a 4090. So if you're only using up to 400 to say 450 watts while you're gaming, you're actually still going to be in the sweet spot with around 90% power efficiency. So that's actually pretty good. As for the size of the PSU is about 160mm long, 150mm wide, and 86mm tall. It's not too large, but it's definitely not a small PSU. It should pretty much fit in most cases, but you're always going to want to double check the specs. The build quality of this PSU seems solid. Everything from the PSU body itself to the cable strands has a nice premium feel, and subjectively, I think it's going to look good in your case, even if your case doesn't hide the power supply with a shroud. As I mentioned, all connections are modular, so you're not going to have to deal with a whole bunch of extra cabling. Cooler Master is backing this power supply with a 10-year warranty, so that's awesome to see. Right now the PSU is going for about $170 on Amazon and Newegg. Overall, I would say this PSU is a solid choice for a proper gaming PC. I have no issues recommending this to anyone for a new build, or if you had an old power supply that died and isn't in warranty anymore. I'm also generally a fan of trying to keep the components all to the same brand. Definitely can help with color scheme. If you're interested in more details on the PSU and my build in general, check out the description below for more details. I would definitely appreciate it if you toss a like on the video if you found some value in it. If you're interested in gaming and home lab videos, I would definitely say get subscribed, then ring that bell for video notifications. Until next time, stay juiced up.